Hello, thank you for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the program, Atiku wins PDP presidential primary election, beats Wike, Saraki, others to clinch tickets. Senator Akinyelure retrieves cars, dollars from party leaders after losing PDP senatorial election in Ondo State. As bribery scandals mar party primaries, currency traders warn CBN that Naira may hit 800 to a dollar as Nigerians now prefer to save in dollars. And later on the show, Real Madrid wins 14th UEFA Champions League title after 1-0 victory over Liverpool in Paris. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Stoju and Mayor Akimpelu will join us in the course of the program. Journalist Hangout starts now. Now it's Sunday, so let's begin on a spiritual note. At creation, God decreed that let there be light, and it came to pass. One of his servants in Nigeria, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, is championing such divine intervention over insecurity in the southeast. During a courtesy call on Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, Pastor Adeboye said the security challenge facing Nigeria is not ordinary, hence God's intervention is inevitable. Bikil, let's, just like we said, it's a Sunday, and there is need for all Nigerians to go to after going to church, wherever they want to ask God's forgiveness or anything that is happening to this country. According to the General Overseer, do you really also think that our problem is actually spiritual?
No, his argument is that the nature of the security challenge that we face is spiritual in nature. I may not agree entirely with him, but I do agree that we need to pray a lot more. We need to ask God to intervene on our behalf, because where you have reposed tremendous faith in our leaders, and our leaders have proved grossly incompetent to deal with the security problem that we face. We have to look elsewhere. We have to look to the ruler of the universe. I am not by any means saying, oh, all problems that we face, we must ask God for solution. We can always try to solve problems on our own. We have enough manpower. We have got Nigerians with the brains to solve all kinds of problems that we face. But we are saying at this time, the Nigerian people need God, because they've tried all they could. They've spoken to the people in government. The media has championed that, spoken to people in government, appealed to them to solve these problems, and every day the problems keep getting worse, to the point that we are not even sure the dimension that the problem could assume, the next day. So I agree with him that we need to look to God a lot more. We need to pray to God. I'm a believer in God, and I believe that the ruler of the universe has a way of solving problems. Even sometimes when we give up totally, God brings help, and that help turns situations around. So as a believer in God, as someone who believes that the world did not just happen suddenly, the world is like a garden. A garden that has lush green vegetables and all that. The garden didn't just create itself. Somebody
originated that.
Yes, planted the vegetables. He ensures that it is wetting them every day. So you see it's looking so fine. It is because there is someone somewhere. And I believe that that same principle applies to the world. The rains come when they should come. The sun comes when they should come. Time zones are consistent in different parts of the world. There is a ruler of the universe who ensures that things go according to plan. In 9 months, woman carrying a baby will be delivered. So, because I believe that there's God somewhere who runs the affairs of men, then it makes sense to pray to him and urge him to intervene in our affairs. Our affairs have reached the point that God needs to intervene because the leaders have failed us by their gross incompetence and selfishness, and we do not have where else do we turn to, for example? Whereas if you are stuck to the leaders and they can't solve the problem currently, how do you then, where else do you go? You have to trust that the ruler of the universe can and will intervene in the affairs, and that's the point.
There is this saying by the scholars of religions who say that God will not change the condition of a people until they change that which is in their own selves. He has actually told us this is the way of the right and the way of the wrong. Do the right thing and then you get the result. Do the wrong thing and then you get the result. So do you think that with God giving us our brains, showing us what to do, and we fail to do it, it will not come to the earth to do it for us? Don't you think so?
What do we do now about leaders that we elected? In some cases, they force themselves on us. What do we do about them? Only need to wait. Some people are waiting now that this person will soon go. This set of leaders will soon go. You know? So what do we do? If we've done our bit as a people to vote for leaders that we trusted. So if those leaders fail to deliver, they are the ones who have questions to answer. Because God expects them to do things the right way. God does not expect leaders who have the privilege to rule us to start stealing our resources and not do their best to ensure that things get better, especially for the common man. God does not want to see the common man suffer. But we have leaders who do not give a hoot whether the common man is suffering or not. So I believe that as a people, we've done our bit. We elected these leaders, we invested our trust in them. The greater joke is on them that they cannot rule in the right way. Yeah. So I don't think that it is a bad thing to ask, especially now that we are confronted with never-ending problems, to say, God, we need you to intervene in our affairs at this time. There are many ways by which God intervenes. Even He can help you to make the right choices and give you the wisdom. Look at Solomon in the Bible. The only thing he asked from God was wisdom, because he knew that he needed it badly to run the state of Israel. And God gave him that wisdom.
Right. Mayor Akinpelu is joining us on Journalist Hangout now. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Pastor E. Adeboye, in the spirit of Sunday, say happy Sunday to you. But then he's saying that our problem in this country is something that we need to run to God to. And BKO are actually waiting on that matter, saying that we can't do anything without God's intervention. But then our leaders, just like he said, but these are leaders that we are looking onto and trusted our, put our trust in, invested our trust in. They are from the same society as we, and some people say they reflect us.
Yeah, I don't think our problem is spiritual. I don't think we can take our insecurity problem to God. God has nothing to do with it. Our problem is that we appointed leaders who have disappointed those who elected them. We have elected a president who has not done what is expected of him, because the first duty of government is protection of lives and property. So those that we have elected and those the president have appointed in security agencies have disappointed Nigerians. They have shown that they are incapable of solving our security problems. And I don't think that it is where we go, because part of the problem that we have in Nigeria is religion. A lot of people have put so much faith in religion that have turned our pastors to think gods.
Well, but don't you look at it from this angle? When we say our problem is religion, if you put in an effort or you don't put in an effort, there's always a result. And we believe in the law of karma. So could it be that making wrong decisions?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You will see people, you will see somebody, something as basic as somebody being healed. There are some people, you are healed, and you know that what you need to do is to see a doctor. You go to the hospital and see a doctor. But some people will prefer to go and see their pastor. And they will kneel down and the pastor will pray. And they will believe that that sickness will go.
But not all pastors.
Which is stupidity.
Not all pastors do that. They
yes, but
actually
no, I'm saying, accept some
people seek wise counsel.
Accept some people.
Right.
Some people believe that they can, when they are sick, and something as serious as the terminal like cancer, they still believe that if they go to church and pray, it will go. That there's nothing God cannot do and all that. Yes, there's nothing that God cannot do. But in the affairs of in the political space, every society gets the government they deserve. Because the government of every country is a reflection of the people of that country. So if you go to, for example, now there were primaries and delegates who were supposed to elect a leader were collecting dollars up and down. And then you compromise yourself and you appoint a leader that may not serve the people. And there's general election, they will bring rice, they will bring milk, they will bring commodities, and people will collect it and collect small money and vote for somebody because of that. So you know that, of course, the problem is there for you. You are going to meet the problem eventually. Right. So if you go to church and sleep there for 24 hours, it will not change the problem that you created yourself.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't pray.
No, of course we pray. Everybody, we do pray. But what I'm saying is that I don't think that praying will solve our insecurity problem.
Well, we'll still continue to pray even after all. We can't stop praying. Prayer is the master key, they said. Right.
There's only one country in the world that I know set aside one day just to thank God. That's America. A good number of Americans are atheists. They don't believe in God. But they set aside a day just to thank God because they know there is a ruler of the universe who runs the affairs of our world. And they know that they owe him a duty to be grateful.
We can't say religion
is a problem. I agree. No, I agree with that. But
you get the point.
Those are the people that started America, but they've deviated from that.
Yes, but
they still have that Thanksgiving Day.
Yes. The Thanksgiving Day is there, and God still runs their affairs. He still solves problems for them. You see, we can't, because some people have given religion such a bad name, now pretend that we do not need God. Miracles still happen in our world. One pastor said some time ago that you will believe in miracles when you need one badly. You know, there are some problems we face. We think that we have come to the end. At that time, we are badly needing miracle, praying to God for that miracle. We have taken you around. You are asking for that miracle. That's why that man said, you will believe in miracles when you badly need one. When you don't need it, you can even laugh at people who believe that
I'm sure Mayor actually also believes in miracles, that it happens, really.
Yes, I'm not saying miracles do not happen, but I don't, it depends on what you believe.
Absolutely.
I believe in God. I'm a very religious person, but I don't believe in miracles.
Okay.
I don't believe in miracles.
We'll save that for another day, but we have to move on to another issue, which is like a war horse that hardly gets tired. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has showed why he is the real deal in the People's Democratic Party. Atiku has emerged as the presidential candidate of the PDP for the 2023 elections after winning the party's primary election at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja on Saturday. According to the result announced, Atiku polled 371 votes to defeat his closest rival, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, who scored 237 votes, while a former president of the Senate and two-term governor of Kwara State, Abubakar Bukola Saraki, came third with 70 votes. Let's share highlights of the party's national convention with you.
That Nigeria is a nation in search of nationhood, is a country in search of nationhood. Today, The process for that search starts with this event. If we elect the right leadership, then the country will be on the march to greatness once again. I call this a moment of determination, a moment that will define where our party goes, where Nigeria goes, a moment where that instantaneous performance that you are going to do will define what this country will be. Whether we'll continue in the moment of gloom or will exert into the moment of boom. Today, that thumb printing is not just a thumb printing. That thumb printing will define the next generation. You cannot give what you don't have. We have leaders who have not managed business successfully, so how can you manage people and resources when you become the president? So you need someone who has the experience, who has the global contact and the exposure.
The permanent solution to our problem is to give the power back to the local government. It is not a coincidence that we have representatives from the 774 local government right here as the delegates. It is the time to take the power back to the local government. If we have a security system that is based on the local government structure, Nigeria will be secured. If we have electricity at the local government level, Nigeria will have lights. And if we have technology where every community has access to internet, we will do well as a nation.
We're here at a moment of decision, a moment that we must choose hope over hopelessness, a moment that we must choose peace and security over fear and terror, a moment that we must choose unity over disunity and exclusion. Distinguished delegates, as we stand here, we ask ourselves, what is our role? We are only 774 delegates, but the destiny of 200 million Nigerians is in your hands.
I have come to a patriotic conclusion to step down my aspiration, and not only that, but I appeal to my supporters to take this in good stride and in the hands of national unity, patriotism, and not only that, those who are delegates here should vote for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Wazir Adama, PDP.
$36, $37, 237 votes. 71. His Excellency Abubakar Atiku, 371 votes.
Bukola Abubakar Saraki, 70. Yesom Weke, 237. Atiku Abubakar, 371. By the power vested on me as the Chief Returning Officer of the 2022 Presidential Electoral Committee, I, Senator David Adechenu Bonaventure Mark, GCON, hereby return Atiku Abubakar, having scored the highest number of valid votes as the winner of the election. He is hereby returned elected. Congratulations, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar.
We have witnessed another one of the freest elections to be conducted by our great party. Let me also use this opportunity to call on my fellow contestants and to assure them that I am ready to cooperate and work with them and give them a sense of belonging in this party and our next government. It was a well-fought primary elections. So I commend you for that, and I look forward to working with you very closely so that together we can build this party to a level where we can take over the government. I want to appeal to all aggrieved members of our party that they should please return to our party, and we are willing, we are ready, the leadership of the party, our governors and myself, to make sure that their grievances are resolved within the party. Let us make use of those internal mechanisms to resolve our disputes in our party instead of going to various law courts and getting contradictory rulings and contradictory judgments. It is not going to augur well for the growth of our party.
It is my honor and delight to present this party flag to you as a symbol of our unity, our support, and our commitment to win the next election. Congratulations.
I will say congratulations to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Babajide has told you. You see, during the time of the campaign, you saw all of that aspirants moving from one state to the other, making consultations. You saw different advertisements being placed in the media. But former Vice President Atiku Abubakar did not do all of those. Looks like he was so confident that he would definitely clinch the ticket, and he did.
It's not true. It's not true. He was traveling. At least I know some of the places that I went to. Dino, for example, is a friend of mine. And I remember that Dino was traveling with him in his private jet. They were moving from place to place. It's not possible to win this kind of election staying in one place. No. Don't also forget that being a serial contestant, he already had structures in different places. All he needed to do was just activate those structures and they will be working for him. But it's not even true that he was not moving around. He moved around.
But he make a hell of a noise like all
no, see, he may not have made so much noise like those who are traveling, going to 3 states in one day and all that. Atiku, from the day he lost the last election, Atiku made clear that he will contest again. So some people were moving around campaigning over just a period of 1 month. This person had been literally campaigning for 4 years because he did not wind up his political machine. Those who just recently announced that they are going to contest, they are the ones who are running from pillar to post, going up and down. Atiku never suspended his campaign. From the day he lost, he made it clear that he will contest again. We all knew that, look, Atiku will be in the race for 2023. That one was public knowledge. So he had been moving around, trying to activate his political machine again. And it's not, I'm not surprised that at the end of the day he won. Although I'm convinced that if Tambo had not given him his support, Wike would have won the election. Wike, more than 70% of the PDP primaries decided before this election were won by Wike's candidates. Senatorial primaries, House of Reps primaries, even in some states. Look, House of Assembly elections. So Wike had done so well building support base, especially in states that the PDP did not have sitting governors. So those North Central states and other places, he was in firm control in a lot of those places. But at the end of the day, what we did not expect would happen happened when Tambuwal decided at the last minute to say, look, I'm pulling out and directing my delegates to support
Vice President.
the Vice President. Let me explain why I said if he had not pulled out, Wike would probably have won. In Sokoto, 26 delegates, because they have 26 local government, 23 in Kebbi, 14 in Zamfara. That's 63, no. Apart from the support that he had in some other states, like Katsina, like Kaduna. In fact, he will have dominated majority of the 7 states of the North Central, because it will come from North Central, So that's this area of strength. Even when he did well the last time, that was the area of strength. He came second to Atiku in the last presidential primaries of the party. So someone so highly rated like that, by pulling out at the last minute, not less than 100 votes. He conceded not less than 100 votes by that action for Atiku. Because by the time you pull the 63 votes from those 3 states alone, and we still have Jigawa, we still have Kaduna, we still have Katsina, which constituted this area of strength.
Being an incumbent governor.
And an incumbent governor, those are the areas where he had been working. In Kano, you have 44 local governments. That is an advantage in itself. In Katsina, to more than 30 local governments, an advantage. And they don't have sitting APC governors in those places. So for him being, sitting PDP governors in those places, for him being a sitting PDP governor, those areas were waters in which he could fish from. And at the end of the day, by conceding his delegates to Atiku, he strengthened Atiku's capacity to win. And that's what happened. So it's like placing the interest of the party ahead of friendship. When Fire got some markets in Sokoto, Wike donated 200 million to the people. Wike supported him with everything that he's got. But on this occasion, he felt that Wike would not be the best for the party, and he decided to support someone else.
Well, Mayor, do you think the governor of Sokoto State actually placed the interest of the party above the interest of, what BK said? Or
I don't
could it
think
be
so.
that it's a blood, when it comes to the northern blood, that affinity is what actually played out, that they will always support one of their own as against anybody from another region?
I think Tambuwal is a politician. Tambuwal is a very selfish politician. He's a politician who looks at his own interests at every point in time. And I will explain why. In the last election, the last primaries 4 years ago, Wike was a very powerful person in the party. And Wike was all out supporting him. And he almost got it. In fact, what made Atiku to win 4 years ago was because the military class met and decided that Atiku Abubakar will serve their interests better. So they sent a delegation to Ota to go and meet Obasanjo. And they informed Obasanjo to say, look, we know that you have issues with this man, but this is the man that we think can run this election. This is the man we are supporting. And Obasanjo, as the head boy of the military class, that whatever differences he had with Atiku, he should just forgive him. And Obasanjo agreed. And from Ota, they went to Port Harcourt and changed the dynamics of what happened. Before then, Atiku was running behind Tambuwal. The same Wike, who, like he said, supported you when the fire got on the market there. The same Wike now is on the ballot. And Tambuwal didn't blink twice to say, look, my supporters should go to Atiku, which was the deciding factor. Because, yes, he has sizable amount. In fact, there are a lot of support that was supposed to come for Wike in Kano. Because of his own decision, some of them changed their mind and tried to go another way.
Looking at Wike, you know, before the party primary, someone has actually referred to him. I think Dino Mela, he said, PDP has now become Wike People's Party, saying because of the power Wike is holding in the party. One thing you have to
give to Wike is that he has succeeded in turning himself into a major stakeholder in PDP. You have to give him up. For him to be able to perform this well is commendable, because he's not, most of it, he was able to penetrate a lot of states in the north. You understand? Yeah. So you have to give it to him that he did very well. He did very well. But Tambuwal, for whatever reason, believed that the interest of the party will be better served with Atiku than Wike. Fine.
Right. BKO, well, North is showing superiority when it comes to politics this time around again.
This is not about North and South. Frankly, this is not about North and South. Wike, yes, he's financed the PDP so much. That's where he draws his strength from, nothing else. In terms of his brash nature, his very undiplomatic attitude, if Wike should win this, if he had won this primary election, even with eyes closed, the candidate of PDP will win. And they knew it. Those who understand politics very well,
the candidate of
APC will win. You know? Those who understand politics so well know that, look, there are times when somebody could look like a front runner, but you don't have to let that person win, because it will hurt you badly. In their party, he could win. But to contest for national election, this kind of person, and they knew that they needed something better than that. And they are not fools. They are not fools. At the end of the day, if he won, how do you sell him to the rest of the country? You go to the North, for example, you want the average northern grassroots person or masses to vote for this person, and they can see how he behaves and all that. I mean, for someone who wants to be president of a country, you can't continue to demonstrate on presidential behavior in public. That demarcates you effectively. So, and they knew that with the war chest that he's got, it's not his ability to talk to people, to campaign to people that matters. Of all the people that addressed the people there, his speech was the worst. He had nothing to say. His strength is, yes, there's so much money that can give people and all that. That's why he draws his strength.
Are you not looking at it from this angle?
Did you listen to his speech? No. Did you hear him say what he was going to do? Yeah, his speech was the worst. Yeah, and you keep fighting everybody in the party. You fight this governor, you fight that one. Even the same Atiku, you fought Atiku before the election in Edo. So they needed somebody better than that. Whether we like it or not, Atiku being the candidate of the APC, of the PDP, has made winning the election more difficult for the APC.
What do you mean?
Look at even the result of the last election. Look at the result of the last election. Despite the fact that Buhari was incumbent. Okay. PDP gained more states. PDP did well in the election, in the final analysis.
Atiku on the ballot.
Yes. Yeah. So if you are now at Buhari without his usual 12 million votes, it's not going to be on the ballot. Tell me anyone from northern Nigeria today, that is in the APC,
has a standing
who is stronger than Atiku. Just tell me one person.
But looking at
my own problem is that where is the fairness and justice that we clamor for in politics. We have a president from the north that have done 2 terms, and again, PDP that have had majority of their support from the south, from the southeast and south-south. Where is the fairness? Where is the justice for you to now give your ticket again to another Fulani man from the north?
That is a different issue. On the day when we want to talk about zoning, if you bring the argument game, we are talking about what transpired at their presidential.
Yes, I agree. But what I'm saying is that
both the APC that you are talking about.
The APC will also go to the north.
Both the APC. So even if you must criticize people, you should criticize the APC more.
No, we are going to do that. We are not discussing APC.
No, but you are the one talking about zoning. On this day, we are talking about.
I'm talking about justice and fairness that.
Invariably, you are saying that it should have been zoned to the south.
Right. Yes, it should have been.
Even if that was not the word that came from your mouth. This thing is a contest for the best from the party. Everyone was saying, even when we were arguing, I said, if Wike looks like winning, but if he wins, it will be easier.
Any person knows that Atiku will win. You have said that Atiku will win.
No,
of course I knew that Atiku will win.
He couldn't have won without this person stepping down.
We'll continue from this.
And I've explained it.
Right, we've got a caller, and that's Ade joining us from London. Ade, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Ade, are you there? Ade from London. Well, I'm afraid we're not able to establish collective.
Hello, good afternoon.
Right, Ade.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. We can hear you. Make your point quickly.
My contribution is this. Please, what we saw now is a sign of unity of the northern people. Are you following me? It's a sign of unity of the northern people, which in the south, we can have time to abuse OB when he left PDP. He shouldn't be doing that. He should behave as a statesman. You see, this is a sign of unity of the northern people. You see, I don't blame Tamboa. He has to support. If we in the south can support ourselves without abusing ourselves, we will achieve something. I want Babajide to cross-check. I believe when we went to Chokoto, he donated 500 million, not 200 million.
Yeah, 500.
Because everybody was, the opera then. Why do you donate so much money? Because it is the behaviors of Wike that make Wike lose that election. You should also be a statesman. Abusing everybody is not the best. But that's what I want us to gain there. With the Southerners.
All right. Thank you, Ade from London. Thank you for your point. Yeah, well, BKO, looking at...
if it's simply about the North, why didn't Bala step down? Why didn't Bukola Saraki, who got 70 votes, step down? I mean, with the way we argue sometimes can be ridiculous. An individual got up, stood down for another person. We are now saying it's the North coming together. And it was a Northerner that came third in the contest. Or are we saying that Kwara is not part of the North again? Or Bala from Bauchi is not from the North again? No. An individual took that decision upon himself because Northern leaders had met looking for some form of consensual agreement. But it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So at the last minute, if they were as united as the caller was trying to paint it, wouldn't they have decided to step down for one another?
Right.
But Tamboa took it upon himself that Wike should not be unleashed on the party, though he had resources more than any sitting governor in our country. Well, it doesn't mean that he's the best for the job.
Right.
So sometimes even money can sometimes fail. And that's what we have seen. Just that step, one person stepping down, accounting for a little over 100 votes, tilted the balance. And Atiku won.
All right, Mayor, well, there are so many issues on the ground. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said that he's going to reunite the party. But do you see him reinventing the party, reuniting the party, solving some of the internal crises in the party before he's not thinking of reuniting the entire country?
Yeah, I think so. Some people may not like what I want to say now. The way APC is going about organizing their own primaries. The intrigues and the kind of things they are doing and what we are hearing about some forces within the party, what they intend to do within the party. If they go ahead and do that, I see a serious crisis within APC, and the next president may be Atiku Abubakar. Because if APC goes to election against Atiku Abubakar with a divided house, if those within the party who think they are smart and they are doing all this nonsense they are doing, bringing different candidates, you understand? Because if you notice, some forces within the party didn't want the convention to hold. It was pressure that made the convention to hold. Now we're going to primaries. Instead of them to allow people to go to primaries and let party delegates decide who the presidential candidate should be, they've started doing a lot of things, postponing things so that they could force consensus decision on the party. And if that didn't happen, they have another fallback position. Right. They've started this argument now that, instead of North and South, they've gone to regions. And they are saying, Northeast has never produced a president. And they are entitled to produce president. Wow. If they don't handle things right, if they allow crisis to erupt in their party, if they face Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of PDP, with a divided house, Atiku Abubakar will win the election.
Well, that remains to be seen, actually. But then, quite an interesting conversation, but we need to race against time because the time is really fast spent. Every election cycle in Nigeria throws up various challenges, indicating that our democracy is evolving, though financial inducement of party delegates and voters seems to be a constant phenomenon. Another twist has been introduced in the current dispensation. Aspirants have now resorted to retrieving cash or gifts they shared to people after losing primaries. One example is the senator representing Ondo Central's senatorial district, Ayo Akinyelure, who allegedly retrieved the vehicles he gifted leaders of the People's Democratic Party after he lost the just concluded primary of the party to Ifedayo Adeboye. Dissatisfied with the outcome of the election, the senator was alleged to have approached the leaders to demand the return of his vehicles and the money he shared to them. But a special advisor on ICT, Jonathan Aguilera, denied the allegation, saying the senator only collected the car given to one of the leaders from his pool for an assignment which is meant to be returned. But in Niger State, some delegates in Boso local government area returned the money they collected from a politician, one Abbas Bello, when he requested for a refund after losing the primary. Let's share the video with you.
Gashi nan ana ba ma DG na barista Abbas Bello ana maida mashi kudin shi na takara da yayi wanda ya ba mu delegate wanda muka yi on Monday ya ce a dawo mashi da kudin shi, so ga DG na shi nan muna maida mashi da kudin shi word by word yana ansa. So da haka nan mutanen Boso local government DG na shi na dan takara wanda ake kira barista Abbas Bello ya ce a dawo mashi da kudin shi 100,000 da ya ba mu each delegate. Mu kuma Boso local government mun maida mashi da kudin shi saboda ba ma son wulakanci. Ga DG din shi nan yana kirgawa kowane ward ya ba da naira 300,000 kuma kowanne ana maida mashi da shi. Chairman chamomi ina son chairman a faɗi wata ward da wani ward ne suka kawo yanzu nan, wani ward da wani ward ne suka da mashi da shi. Ok, akwai kudin national delegate. Mai kunkelawa ta kawo nata. Boso Central 1 ma ta ba da 300,000, can Caga Ward ma ta ba da nata. Mai Timbi Ward ma ta ba da nata. Boso Central 2 ta dawo da nata. Kampala Ward ma ta dawo da nata. Garatu Ward ma ta dawo da nata. Kodo Ward ma sun dawo da nashi. Yanzu ana jiran ward guda biyu, Shata da Beji, su ma suna hanya za su kawo mashi a ba mu DG nashi ya maida mashi da kudin shi. Mun gaji arziki ba matsiyata ba ne gashi nan muna maida mashi da kudin shi insha Allah za mu maida mashi da kudin shi ko naira 5
gyara muke son a yi a ƙasa kuma a haka din da za a fara gyara
to aka dijin shi ya ce di wai za a fara gyara ana dawa da kudin delegate da aka bada shi ma yawwa mutanen boso sun ce daga yau dai kar ya sake neman su ya nemi wasu kuma sun ce kar ya kara cewa shi ɗan boso ne an raba jiha so muna jiran ward guda 2 yanzu za su kawo a maida mashi da kudin shi idan Allah so ya yarda.
Meanwhile, some electorate in Kebbi State took the issue a notch higher when they filed a petition of embezzlement, bribery and corruption practice against People's Democratic Party governorship aspirant in the state, Ibrahim Abdullahi Manga. In the petition filed by PDP member in the state, Mohammed Idris, the aspirant, is alleged to have shared 2.3 million naira each to party chairman in 8 local government areas of Kebbi Senatorial or Kebbi Central Senatorial District, amounting to 18.4 million naira in a viral video. Let's also share this video with you.
Naira 100,000 a bayan social media, miliyan 2 kuma ka sarrafa su da kai da delegate.
Samarisa, an masa jibra godiya.
Ina kake? Ciyaman Gwandu.
Ciyaman Gwandu.
Kai ma nan ga naira miliyan 2.300. 100,000 a ba matasa, 100,000 a ba matan jam'iyya, 100,000 a ba social media.
So godiya barista. Samarisa, jangoki mai rangon gwaci kanin mai nuna kato zai rana mai kai toron giwa ne kudin kuwa ka jiki ne ka wadi barista.
Ina ciyaman na bunza.
Ciyaman na bunza.
Da ya kamata da kai zan fara. Ciyaman na bunza bello mata ya kamata da kai zan fara. Ga naira miliyan 2.300 na matasa, 100 na mata, 100 na social media.
Kuna da ya gani guda son ka ba ku bi mun ka ba ku wallahi kuma sai mun kara ku da haka.
Ina ciyaman na kalgo.
Ciyaman na kalgo.
Da mai kama da manya, da wanda ya haihu.
Adul.
Kai ma ga miliyan 2.300. A ba matasan fati 100,000, a ba mata 100,000, a ba social media 100,000.
Na godiya barista. Wanda haka mai gida. Guda son ka baka bi mun ka baka.
Ina ciyaman na jega.
Alaye Sanusi alelu. Alaye Sanusi jega alelu.
Ka san ita jega matsayi gare ta.
Wannan ne gaske.
Don duk girman sentinel din ga hannun ku take.
Hannun mu take mai gida.
Ga miliyan 2.300. 100 na mata, 100 na matasa.
Mun gode barista. Guda sun ka ba su biyu mun ka ba su. Guda sun ka ba su biyu mun ka ba su. Ciyaman na Aleru. Ciyaman na Aleru.
Ciyaman na Aleru ga miliyan 2 kai da delegates ɗinka. 100 na matasa, 100 na social media, 100 na mata.
Guda sun ka baka biyu mun ka baka. Cika alƙawari don Allah.
Wow, it's quite amazing, Biko. Interesting times. Looks like we're in serious problem in this country.
How to get our people to stop seeing electoral seasons as a time to make money, rather than a time to engage the one who is looking for their votes and ask pertinent questions. What do you want to do for us? Oh, you've been there for 4 years. Yeah. Show us what you've done. Well, we are not asking questions. It's the person who can bring the big money that we're after. You know? And a lot of what we see is actually public funds that people are using. There are very few people who spend their own hard-earned money in this manner. When you see somebody shelling money like confetti all over the place, it's public money that is spending. There's no accountability. We heard that the EFCC went to the venue of the PDP primaries yesterday. To do what? How many arrests have been made? Or are they going to tell me that people were not given dollars?
They won't share it there. They will have shared it at the hotel.
So how many arrests have they made? Someone was telling me that this PDP primaries, that the average delegate will have made about 30 million. Because other people will come to you beyond the one that you want to vote for, who has already given you his own dollars. Others will come. One of the aspirants stepped up to the podium to say that he had no access to the delegates, that he got to see the list of delegates very late, that the list had no phone numbers and all that. He wanted to talk to them. He wanted to reach them. There was no way of reaching them. So now in the past, we used to be discreet about things like this. We've now, the same way we literally legalized Indian hemp, to the point that you see young boys by the roadside just smoking it as if it is no longer an offense in our country. Sharing money to voters, we now see it as if it's not a crime anymore. If these guys are not prosecuted, if they are not arrested, then I would know that whatever the FCC says about arresting people, trying to induce voters with money, is just empty gas. They've got to make examples of people. These two incidents. There's another one in Cross River that the audio clip leaked. He gave out a jeep to a party leader and described that the party leader didn't work for him because he lost the primary election. He then phoned him and told him that if he likes himself, he should just go and park that jeep in the police station. That he will come and pick it there. Park it, just go and park it. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass you. Return the jeep. So this is the thing. This is what we are facing.
Quite amazing.
It began like, you know. But today,
infrastructure.
You see women lined up, they'll be giving them yards of Ankara, just distributing to them. They're selling their conscience. At the end of the day, you say the politicians are not accountable. The politician sees you as someone who has already been paid for the vote that you cast for him. That's just the way it is.
So it's time for them to reap whenever they are able to get that.
So they paid for it, so they don't feel accountable to you in any way.
Well, Senator Akinyelure, who represents Ondo Central District, defeated by a greenhorn, Ife Adeboye, is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, and he said, "You need to return my money." That's $800 each given to given to them, and then $5,600, and then he'll tell 150,000 naira for hotel expenses collected from him or the house.
You see, one of the problems that we have that makes our democracy not to grow is this kind of incidents. And I have to blame the people, not the politicians, because the voters, for whatever reason, want to have something that they can hold on to for them, because they believe that voting for you is doing you a favor. So they want you to pay for it. And when you allow politicians to do that, why should you now hold them accountable if they didn't deliver? Because you have already been paid. That's the reality. You have been paid. And we put pressures on these people. Everybody knows that if you want to run an election, that is why it's only money bags that are dominating the political space. Somebody sent a message to me yesterday. I was saying that, oh, your friend Eddie Momodu didn't perform well. And what do you want him to do? When you are not interested in somebody that can deliver, you are not interested in somebody that can add value. What you are interested in is for the amount of dollars that you can collect. That's the kind of country that you have.
Sorry to butt in. When BKO and Ayozubakun were talking to Dele Momodu, he said what he was going to share to them was his magazines, just to show that he's capable of doing the job. You remember?
But you see, that
will
yes, because the Nigerian delegates have been so corrupted that they believe that they must collect dollars. Everybody expects it. But what I'm saying now is that if you believe that for you to vote, you must be induced, and then you will now vote somebody that's not really worthy, but because the person can pay you, then you have no right to criticize anybody when they don't deliver, because you have been paid. And an average Nigerian voter have been paid. So if you collect rice, you collect money, you collect Ankara, you collect delegates, collect dollars, then why do you think we should hold our leaders accountable? So that is why we cannot move forward until we play emphasis on those who can add value to the political space. Not somebody that will just come because we are rich. And that, if you notice, that in fact, there is another trend that there are a lot of people that are into 419, that are into shady deals. All of them are honorables. A lot of them are honorable because it is the kind of money that you can throw in. That is what will give you the ticket. It shouldn't be like that. And what we are seeing now is so sad, because now, like everything in Nigeria that has broken down, people now believe that it's no big deal if we dose people publicly. Something that they used to do in the closet, now people do it and flaunt it. And somebody was even hailing the guy doing so.
It's look so at this guy in Osun State, the dancing senator, was even telling people,
Adeleke rather,
was telling them that the range of foreign currencies that he has in the kitty. That is not telling the people what he intends to do for them. It's not telling them that, look, I offer much more than dancing. It's telling them that he has foreign currency, this and that. I mean, how on earth should that be part of what an aspirant or a candidate is telling the people? You should be telling the people how you intend to make their lives better. You should be telling the people why they need to choose you over the incumbent governor, Oyetola. But you are not saying that. You are telling them that you have tons of foreign currency.
It's like they understand the real language.
I mean,
the real demands of Nigeria.
This is the season.
It's the voters. The problem has to do with the voters.
This is the season of oddity. Who are the people who started it? Voters did not set out simply to be asking for money. It's politicians who got desperate that began to offer money to voters. That since they weren't sure that the voters would vote for them, since they hadn't worked for the people. Governor Zulum does not need to give anybody any money. You know?
True.
He doesn't need to give you money.
But I'm not sure whether that would work if he's gone in for a national position. I'm not sure if that will work without giving anybody money.
Of course it won't work.
But he can actually succeed in a state, not giving money to run for an elective position. But if he's gone in for a position that has to do with a national vote,
he will give money.
And he doesn't give money in this climate that we are currently. You think that's going to work?
There are people who vote for him without him giving them money.
But he won't be able to win. They will be in the minority.
No, if he maintains his current standing, people don't need his money to vote for him. They don't need his money. He's already famous. He's already popular. People know what he can do. Was it the votes that Buhari was getting in the north? Were they money induced? They were not induced by money. It's out of sheer love that people say, we love this person. He's honest. Yes. How much money did Buhari share to people at during the primaries in 2014? Has he even got money to share?
But some people did that on his behalf.
Well, I didn't see them.
But BK, I want us to
see them sharing money on his behalf. Frankly, I'm saying the truth.
I want to.
People wanted him desperately that time. It was the person that they wanted.
But they still charge money. Yes. Yes, they did.
I said
they gave delegates
people
money.
Wanted.
You know, it was done in Lagos. They gave delegates money.
People wanted him. Buhari has not got money to give anybody.
Yes.
Now, people wanted him. Are you saying that it's impossible to win an election without giving people money?
No.
People
didn't have money.
It's possible. Even during his time. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying, look, we've got to go back to the way we used to do things. Let's not simply say, oh, it's impossible to win an election without giving people money. Yeah. There are people who have won election without spending money, without bribing the voter. If you are famous, if you are popular with the people, if the people want you wholeheartedly, you don't need to give them money.
True.
They will stay under the rain, under the sun. We saw a woman in Borno State, old woman, very old, around 90, who brought out just her widow's mite to contribute to the Buhari campaign. Say, this is what I have. I'm contributing this. Just a naira note that she had. It came from the inner recesses of her heart. That was the candidate that she wanted. I mean, she is in fact the one bringing money to say, we give you this money. The way we used to run politics in the past, the way they used to run politics, let me not say we, is the party that will fund your campaign.
True.
Things have changed. Individual candidates now fund their own campaign. Parties are not funding. Parties are not funding. Instead, party will still take money from you. Party leaders will still take money. If you go to secretariat, they will still take money from you. When you want to submit your form, after escorting you with the huge amount, asking price of the form, they will still take money from you at the point of submission. So we need to go back to that era when parties funded candidates from the check-off dues that party members were paying. Right. At that time, we didn't have this nonsense that we are seeing now. We are laughing about. It's a terrible thing. Because it won't allow us to find the right people. If only the people who have got money to share, or only people who can distribute cars can win an election.
Right. But why should the candidate distribute cars to win an election? It shows the level that we have.
No, the stakes are getting high. The stakes are getting high.
You have to distribute
You have to do better than the opponent. That's the thing.
Right, Mayor, let's look at it. We are all concerned that we are descending to a plutocracy. That's only those who have the money can, win elective positions. I want us to look at this twist very quickly. We have issue of insecurity in the country, kidnapping, banditry, and these guys will not release their hostages without collecting, certain amounts of money. So the question now, what the $64 question now is, how are these politicians getting this amount of money? Where did they get this money from? Is there any link anywhere?
No.
Because if you worked labor so hard for your money,
it's in politics. A politician is like a gambler. You understand? You are paying for something you are not sure of. You understand? And it's because the stakes are high. We reward elective offices greatly in this country. You understand? If you are a member of the National Assembly, or if you are a governor, or if you are a president, you are rewarded in a manner that the risk is worth it. If you invest so much money. People used to sell their houses to run for election. People used to sell properties to run for election. There are other people who are businessmen who believe that they have a stake in government because government controls so many things. They are influencers. They pick people that they think will do election and they fund them.
Hang on.
So that's how they get all the money.
We've got Ada from Jos joining us. Ada, join the conversation. Ada from Jos.
Madam, are you there?
Ada from Jos, if you can hear me. Well, I think we missed connectivity. We lost connectivity with Ada from Jos. So round off on your.
So that's what I'm saying. Apart from people, there are people who they want to go for election. They save for it. They sell things. They sell properties to be able to afford to go election. But there are some other people who fund these people, who fund them. They are rich. They are businessmen. They want to have their people in different places so that they can leverage on it. Yeah. You understand, when they are in government. So they also bring out a lot of resources to support aspirants in different parties.
Biko, do you see it differently with what I'm thinking? Are you also thinking in line with what I'm thinking? The issue of insecurity, kidnapping and all that, because it's very difficult for you to work, labor hard to earn your money, make a lot of money, and then you now want to squander it because you want to win an elective position and spend that high amount of money on delegates.
See, when you want to contest election in our country now, you must have billions of naira. You can't become a governor unless you have billions of naira. And even House of Assembly, you spend tons of cash. It is now the norm. to spend so much money. And it's because politicians see elective positions as the window to make money. In the National Assembly, in the course of oversight functions, they make extra cash, especially dollars and all that. We know these things are happening, just that we hardly talk about it. That is where they raise the cash that they will now use to spend on election. Even on election day, this money we see them spending, it's a child's play to what they spend on election day. Election day, they reserve the biggest tons of cash for election day. They are giving people on the queue money to vote for them. Despite the fact that our election is supposed to be a secret ballot, and the cubicle is designed that you really have to do giraffe method before you can see who someone is voting. They don't care. They appoint agents who monitor who you vote for. They're not just going to give you that money. They want to be sure you vote for them. You know? Security agents also help them to monitor people and ensure that they vote for them. It has become the norm now. But as I said earlier, we've got to do something. Go back to the way things used to be. Because if people get easily outspent and people who truly want to serve get frustrated because they can't match people who are spending dollars, we may never find the right people to lead. We will only find rogues and other people eager to steal from the public till because they have invested so much on voters and delegates. So we got to go back. We need to stop. This culture has got to end. And I believe that there ought to be an amendment of our electoral law to punish inducement of delegates, inducement of voters harshly.
I think that's
if we don't do that, honestly, we are just wasting our time.
That's where we need to get to. Well, we need to take a break on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. To stay with us. We'll be back shortly. You're watching Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Thank you so much for being there. Now, our currency, the Naira, is gradually becoming an abandoned orphan due to its falling value against major currencies in the world. The Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria has raised the alarm that many Nigerians are now saving in dollars because they are worried that a Naira could tumble to 800 Naira per dollar. According to the president of the association, Aminu Gwadabe, people are starting to lose faith in the worth of the Naira due to devaluation, and no one wants to save in it anymore. He urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to have a rethink over its decision to bar Bureau de Change operators from receiving foreign exchanges. Mayor, let me start with you. What do you think is happening to their Naira under the watch of Godwin Emefiele?
What is happening is so sad. One of the indices of measuring the strength of your economy is the value of your currency. When I think in 1984 or thereabout, when Naira was valued to about, when it became about 4 Naira 86 kobo to $1, everybody screamed and felt, how can we exchange 4 Naira to $1? Because $1 used to be 60 kobo. It used to be 60 kobo, not even up to 1 Naira. So, by the time the structural adjustment program came and we changed it to about 4 Naira, it looks as if the world will crumble. Today, the Naira is over 600 Naira. And I think that the governor of Central Bank has failed woefully in that regard, because all the efforts that they've done to strengthen the Naira has failed. But one of those who contributed to the Naira failing is the governor of Central Bank and the policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Because they have two windows, one is official, one is not, you realize now that there are some people who now speculate. They collect huge dollars from the Central Bank on official rate, and they sell at the black market, which has weakened the Naira considerably. If you remember, the former emir of Kano, Emir Sanusi, mentioned it then to say there are some people that are making billions just sitting there in their homes because they get allocation from the central bank and they just sell at the black market. So that two-tier window has affected the value of the naira. And then again, when you look at it's unbelievable that $1 will exchange for 610 naira. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous because it affects so many things. We're a country of importers. So most of the things that we use in this country, we import them. And when you pay some amount of money for that, for those products, you are going to pass it to your customers. That is why everything is so expensive. Anything that is imported now is very expensive and shouldn't be so.
Well, BKO, Nigerians are now saving in dollars. Well, quite obviously, it's those who have enough that will think in that direction. What about the common man? It's more punishment on them.
People are stealing and are stealing in naira terms in order to secure what they've stolen and give it the right store of value. They convert to the dollar. I mean, if you are bribed 300 million, give contract to someone in Abuja, and you are bribed 300 million, it's not what you worked for. It's not your sweat, in the real sense of the word. You will not see anything wrong in converting it to dollar. When you convert it to dollar, the dollar is stable. It's our own currency that is not stable. You keep it there. On the day when you need it, when the devaluation of the naira has gone full cycle, you can summon your dollars when you need it, convert a bit of it to naira. That's why it is that reason that accounts for the endless demand for the dollar. Because people need it to even turn their ill-gotten naira, to turn it to foreign currency. They need it. And the truth is, banks, when the CBN governor said, oh, let the banks alone sell dollars to people who need them, and he decided that, okay, bro, they change operators, we don't need you anymore. The naira has sunk further since he took that decision. Usually when you take these big decisions like that, you want to see changes, real changes. But no real change has happened. It has fallen further down since then. This Friday it was 604. Before then it was 610.
610, yeah.
You know, this weekend 604.
And nobody ever believed that it would.
If you told me that it will even cross the 600 naira mark this year, I would say that you need to have your head examined. But look at what's going on. If we ask ourselves, because Nigerians simply don't ask questions. Emefiele wanted to contest. There were people who are rooting for him. They are not asking the question that the job that we gave this fellow, how well has he done it? How come his methods are not working? I mean, if you cannot help us to stabilize the currency, if you can't come up with policies that ensure that the free fall of the naira is arrested, then what is it that you are doing? I mean, I need to be explained to. I've said on this program a number of times that the CBN governor needs to tell us, any country of the world that operates this dual window with the gap as wide as it is.
As it is, because it's unbelievable.
The gap, I mean, the dollar is a commodity. If the gap is that wide, you are telling people to go on and continue to
speculate. Yes.
That's what you are telling them, because the incentive is huge. If you're selling dollars to banks every week, maybe on the average about 100 million, you know, gets sold to these banks. You will see that the profit that the banks will make in the next 1 year will be extremely huge. Because how many people are even able to buy directly from the banks? Tell me. Banks are crooked. They are passing the same dollars that they are supposed to sell to people across the counter. They are passing to bureau de change operators. They are passing to their friends who are dollar traders. They are passing it to them so that they can make huge money. So this is the thing. That window, the gap, I have no issue against the dual window in the real sense. But that gap, when we manage the our currency better during the Jonathan years, we had dual window.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this bad. Even during the military era, Abacha and the rest, we had dual window. But it wasn't this bad. If you need to create dual window, okay, so that people, those going for pilgrimage, those who want to buy essential things like drugs and the rest, raw materials.
Or industries.
But there's nothing wrong about that. But look at what we are going through.
Quite
Everyone, there's nothing now that we used to buy that the price has not gone up significantly. I used to talk about bread, that I was buying bread very early last year at around 250. You know, a loaf of premium loaf bread, 250. That same, in fact, it's even smaller. Let me not say that small. That same premium bread is 850 now.
From 250?
Within 1 year.
And if Nigeria
because
has one thing.
all the condiments that they use in baking bread, they are largely imported. The butter and the rest, the prices have gone up. Sardine, that we used to describe as food of the poor. If you cannot... but
it used to be food of the poor,
yes. You find it difficult to find...
Sardine now is 600. It's actually, you see some department store will sell it 599 naira. What that's 600 now? Come on. Oh, that's a joke.
It's just a pricing placement.
The ones that, like Titus, for example, the brand that is famous with Nigerians, is above 600. That's sardine. When I was still at the news, whenever I was producing on production nights, that's what I would go and buy at Agidingbi for people. I will buy bread, I will buy tea, I will buy sardine. Everybody with his own tin of sardine. If I was still there, I'm sure I would not be able to afford it. To buy sardine for every production staff. How will I be able to cope?
Right. Mayor, it's so funny that even here in this part of the world, when the prices of goods have actually skyrocketed, the money will go up, but the value of such thing will reduce. Assuming the value goes up, I mean the price goes up, and then the value still retains its.
No, because the problem of the price going up has to do with the costs of production. You understand?
Right.
And because the producer is going through a lot of problems, when you keep paying a lot of things and you don't want to be out of business, you start compromising here and there to be able to survive. That is why, despite the fact that you are paying higher price, for example, the bread that Jesus sold us now that moved from 200 to 850, you will notice that the bread is not even bigger, it will even be smaller.
It's smaller. It's smaller now.
Yes, because despite the fact that you are paying 800, the guy is still not breaking
he's not making money.
He's not making money, he's not breaking even. So he will look for other ways of surviving, and is to reduce the amount of products that he will use.
And if he decides to make something as big as he used to sell to you, the price will go up and people will not buy.
I will not buy.
Look at the money of these soft drinks now. The soft drinks are smaller now.
Yeah.
Everybody, we are now forced to drink what we used to call solo. But the price too has gone up.
We've got Elder Dari from Kaduna standing by. Elder Dari, please make your point. Elder Dari, are you there?
Good afternoon, Baba GK and the uncle and the other man there. Yes, what do you expect from a central bank governor that is mixing professionalism with politics? That is why we are where we are now. if he had solely focused on his job as the central bank governor, I don't think we'll be where we are. Babajide has said it all. This man needs to be focused. We need to hear the crack-pot agenda of how to recover this economy. And come to think of it, what are we producing in Nigeria? Most of the things we consume here are being imported. So when the things we need are imported, how will it not have a set on the dollar? I just pray that the economic team will begin to think outside the box and take us out of this doldrum. That's
Thank you very kindly.
I agree with him, because part of the problem is that in the 70s, when the naira was very strong, we were a producing nation. We have different companies. We were producing from tires to cars, to buses,
and even exporting some of these.
Yes, because there was industrialization and people were producing things. Then along the line, we lost our way and companies started folding up. That's why you will see warehouses start becoming churches, and we were not producing anything. In Nigeria, we don't produce anything. Most of the things that we use, we import, which will put pressure on your currency, because naira is not an international currency. So when you buy anything abroad, you have to pay in dollars, and then you import them in. So that's part of the problem, because we're not producing enough. It's putting pressure on our naira. But another major thing that is putting pressure on naira is the policy of the central bank. Central bank governor and the central bank are making some people who are not worthy billionaires overnight by giving them huge amounts of dollars at official rate, knowing that they are not producing anything with it, but they are speculating and selling it at the black market.
Right, BK, looking at the import-export effect on Nigerian economy, Nigerians generally, a lot of Nigerians have this penchant for foreign products. They prefer to buy something that was made in Aba, exported to other country, and then brought back to Nigeria and written as made in Italian, and then we'll start showing our ego like this is an Italian shoe, this is made from China and all that. So what do you think our own personal role, individual roles have actually contributed to this?
We have to take pride in our own products, but our leaders need to lead the way. How many of our leaders, for example, are prepared to have the innocent car, which is assembled here as the official car? How many of them? The National Assembly the other day, they allocated vehicles to themselves. It was a heated debate. The representative from Anambra State, where Innocent has his headquarters, shouted himself hoarse. His colleagues will not listen. They prefer to bring in Toyota, Jeeps, and the rest of them. So if we cannot feel proud about things produced here, even textile produced here used to be perfect, the best in this part of the world. The days of Nichemtex, the days of UNTL, outside government, the textiles provided employment more than any other this thing. But we watch them die one after another. Now we are busy buying foreign textile, foreign fabrics, and the rest. Dangote used to have one of the best, one of the 4 largest textile companies in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I once asked Dangote at this hotel in GRA, now Radisson Blue. I asked him, I said, why did you close down your textile company? And he said, oh, now I know you don't like me. I said, but what did I do? He said the best friends of people in government are smuggling barons. They bring in all these voiles, all these foreign textile, bring it into the country. Right. Nobody is restraining them. How can the home-sourced alternative grow when everywhere is flooded with?
Let me add to that.
Before you do that, we've got Uche from Nnewi joining us on Journalist Hangouts. Uche, the ball is in your court.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Uche, make your point quickly.
How are you doing? Yeah, this is Atiku.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes, good afternoon, the moderator. Good afternoon, Peter.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief Adeboye.
Good afternoon, sir.
Adeboye.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I think the central bank governor, if I were the president, I would just sack him immediately.
Yes.
Because he is not supposed to be a politician. Now, from the information we got, I think he registered as an APC member in Delta State. But where did he get that time from? So he has already been distracted anyway. So why shouldn't the dollar be rising like that? So it's quite unfortunate that we have found ourselves.
All right, thank you very much, Uche from Newi. He's actually recommending a sack for the...
What I wanted to add to what Jide said was that the country, the government must make concerted efforts to develop made in Nigeria. Most countries, most great countries, develop because they believe in, they produce most of the things. Even the food that we eat, we don't produce most of our food that we eat. We import most of the things. You won't believe it that we import fish, we import chicken into this country.
Some are even importing
in huge amount of money.
Yes,
so it is important that the government must encourage made in Nigeria. Even if we need to make sacrifices and show, because part of our problem is that an average Nigerian have this foreign taste, including me. And most of the things that we patronize are foreign things. But the government needs to show leadership by encouraging people to patronize made in Nigeria. Like he said, it has to start from government. If government believe that made in Nigerian vehicles, like innocent vehicles, are not good enough, and in fairness, they are good enough.
That's what we
because I came in from Abuja, and I noticed that the shuttle buses now are innocent buses, and they look, they look very nice. They look very nice. Air conditioned, they look very nice.
Even if they are not perfect, it will get to a point when they will improve.
They will improve, yes.
If look at Tata, the Indian Tata, for example.
Yeah.
Indians see it as their pride. You don't want to imagine that Tata is as good as Toyota, for example.
But they have very good cars now.
But it is their own.
Yes, they have very good cars now.
That is their own.
And they started with high duty machine.
They will get
but now they do very good cars now.
That's the thing. They will get
even
better with time.
The Chinese too.
They
are doing very good cars now.
So if we don't encourage local production, we won't have enough for export. In the past, we used to be a net producer of palm fruits.
Right.
But today, we are importing processed palm oil into our country.
Yeah.
From Malaysia and other places. Countries that bought that
came after us,
got the seedlings from us.
Yes.
We are now importing from them.
BK, very quickly, I want you to react to these. In the first instance, what actually happened to the Nigerian coins? You know, our coins. You know, the 1 naira, 2 naira.
No, it's value.
The moment
shouldn't
the naira
bring it back, just like
no, because it doesn't have value anymore. You can't buy anything.
Maybe that will force everything down.
No, you can't. You can't. You see, you can't force down prices by that. Market forces determine these things. You can't force down. You can don't force. There was a pastor in my village when he noticed that people were keeping the coins for church. One day he gathered the coins that they had they
received as
that they are given as offering.
Yeah.
He gathered everything, and in people's presence he threw them away. After that, people started bringing paper money to church. So that by his own action, that pastor induced a lot of inflation in the village without realizing it. He just felt, it is God that you bring coins for. You can't spend coins elsewhere. You know, so
but developed countries.
But you cannot. You can't spend coins now because, like I said, because of the value. Even the central bank. Even central bank is planning to cancel 20 naira notes and all that, because the value now does not, you cannot, how many things can you buy with those things? You know, so that's why we don't use coins. It's the value of the currency.
You think they just died a natural death, or given the...
It's very sad seeing that Naira actually nosediving against the dollar just this way.
And the countries around us, even the small countries around us, their currencies are stronger.
Almost every country in Africa, their currencies are stronger than ours.
So what is the giant about Nigeria?
It's only maybe Zimbabwe that we can compare ourselves with.
All right, we need to move on. We need to move on to our last issue of today. Well, pure class and records were on display on the final of the 2021-2022 UEFA Champions League in Paris on Saturday. Spanish giants Real Madrid beat English side Liverpool 1-0 to claim their 14th title in the competition. Now, the Reds suffered another Champions League heartbreak on a chaotic night in Paris and failed to avenge the 2018 loss in Kiev as Vinicius Junior's second half goal clinched the trophy for Madrid. The manager of Spanish team, Carlo Ancelotti, also becomes the first coach to win the title 4 times. Fantastic stuff. Bikio, let's start with the success story of Real Madrid. You know, they beat the top 3 teams in England, from Chelsea to Man City and now Liverpool. In your opinion, are they worthy to be referred to as champions?
Yes, they are worthy champions. Any team that beats Man City especially, if you can survive Man City with their press, their counter press, and domination of teams. If you can survive them, you must be a very good team, you know. And Real Madrid showed character to even get past Man City, because on that day I had given up that, look, this thing is beyond Real Madrid. I felt it wasn't their night. But they came back. They came back and came back from 2 goals and eventually got the winner. So it's a team that was destined to win this tournament, because if you observe, even in the group stages, they didn't do well. They didn't play well earlier in the competition. The team that won backstreet team, Sheriff, can beat. They beat Real Madrid now. But to come back from that disappointment, it shows that in football sometimes, no matter the disappointment that you have, just keep trudging on. Look at Mourinho. Mourinho was beaten, I think, 6-1 or so by one small team.
Yeah.
In the early stage of the conference league. But he ended up leading Roma to win the tournament. So Real Madrid have shown that when it comes to the Champions League, they are a different animal. They don't joke with the Champions League. They believe that the Champions League is their birthright. They believe that when it comes to the Champions League, they are head and shoulders above everyone. You know? So that is what we have seen. This coach won it with them, left the team, came back, won it with them again. You know, it just shows that Real Madrid is a team with tremendous character. And Liverpool are hoping to win a quadruple. And I'm like, Manchester United has not won anything in 5 years. You are thinking of winning a quadruple. Quadruple what? Don't know the only quadruple now, quintuple.
I think Real Madrid showed pedigree. When it comes to the Champions League, that's the most successful club. They've won it 14 times. Yeah. They won it 3 years in a row. They won it back-to-back. The only club to so do. So they have the pedigree. There was a time I was in Madrid. So I went on a tour of the Bernabeu. When you get to the first floor of the stadium, there is a place, it's like trophy room, and they have a museum, the Real Madrid Museum there. If you get to that museum and you watch clips of earlier successes of players of Real Madrid, if you're a player of Real Madrid, when you watch that, there's no way you will not be inspired. When it comes to Champions League, they've done a lot of things that other clubs can only dream of doing. And the time when they won in the semi-final against Man City, I knew that their name is already on the cup, because football matches like that only come once in a while, you know. Real Madrid didn't have a shot on goal in 90 minutes. they scored their first goal when they brought Rodrigo in as he came in as a substitute, and they scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, and the tide changed. They scored their first goal in the 90th minute, and just 1 minute after, they scored the second goal and went to extra time where they got the penalty and won the goal. After that match, I knew that there's nothing Liverpool could do. The name is already written on. Another thing that makes it easier for them to win that competition is because of the teams they met in the semi-final and in the final. Yeah. Both Man City and Liverpool play the high line. They play the high line and they play the high press. You know, they call it Gege press. They play the high press. So they eye up the pitch, they take you on and shock you. They suffocate you in a way that even when they lose the ball, they collect the ball back quickly. But the problem with that kind of style is that there's always room behind the defenders for an attacker to run into. And when you have an attacker like Junior, that plays for Real Madrid, he's very fast and he thrives on space. You understand? Yeah. So that is why they were able to concede that goal, because they had that hard press. Immediately Real Madrid was able to beat the press. There was that space behind the defenders, and Junior was able to run in and score that goal. Right,
Jide, let's face the reality. The Champions League was delayed by 30 minutes. There was traffic with Liverpool players arriving 20 minutes late. Liverpool fans also coming to Paris without tickets. And then in 1966, the World Cup trophy was stolen in England and later found by a dog. So is there any such thing as a perfect system, or if this could have happened in the West, what lessons must have been learned?
But with, English fans are noted for their bad behavior, especially when playing in big tournaments like this. They are lucky to get to the final. Even you saw what they did at the European, on the day of the European Cup final. When they lost to Italy, they started destroying everywhere. Also, they are noted for this bad behavior, constant drinking, taunting opposing fans, seeking always to pick up a fight with rival fans and all that. So I'm not surprised about those wild scenes just outside the stadium, but I believe that UEFA should have organized things better. This is a shame to UEFA that they allowed this to happen. Liverpool fans without tickets, you're just misbehaving outside the match venue. I think UEFA should have
because we always imagine that why
to manage the situation. With the English fans. The English fans, they are known for such bad behavior. They do it all the time.
In fact, they're better now. They used to be
but what they did, that move around. What they did after the European Cup, I'm like, what's going on? They were destroyed. They were vandalizing department stores, shops, by the side of the road just because England didn't win.
That's way backward. Mayor, do you see any other team displacing Real Madrid as UEFA's champions, anytime soon?
When this particular Real Madrid team, they were not too fantastic, But like I said, they have pedigree when it comes to the European Championship, and there is no club that even come close when it comes to Champions League. It's like the Champions League is made for them. Even when they are not very good, they still excel when it comes to the Champions League. Like I said, they were the only club that won Champions League back-to-back. People used to say that it's impossible to win Champions League back-to-back. But they did it. Even Zinedine, as their coach, won it 3 years on the bounce. You understand? So when it comes to Champions League, I don't think any other club has the pedigree of Real Madrid. When it comes to Champions League, they are the Lord of the Minor.
They also share the same.
Yes, and it shows. Sometimes, I remember 1 year, they were fourth in the league, but they still won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Fourth in the league.
Under Zidane, yes.
Yes, Zidane was there, but they managed to win the league, the Champions League that year. Even on those occasions that they won, they were winning it back to back. They were not doing well in the league. Barcelona was dominating them in the local league, you know. But when it comes to Champions League, you see people like Ronaldo, they want to ready to die, or they win the Champions League, despite their poor domestic form. So this is Real Madrid. As far as they are concerned, the Champions League is like their personal property. They don't joke with it. Some clubs have never won it. Some have won it just 1 or 2 times, but they were the first to win it 10 times. And the year that they won it, you know, they were talking about La Decima, that they want to win it the 10th time, and they succeeded. And after that, they've won it 4 times. So it's tremendous. The history of the club is rich in terms of conquests that they've recorded in the Champions League. They always find a way to grind out a result. I don't think they were the best in this tournament.
No, they're not.
They were outplayed so many times. They were lucky against PSG.
They were lucky against Chelsea too.
If the away goal rule had not been scrapped, PSG would probably have qualified.
Yes.
Because they will have realized that, okay, this was what we needed. But somehow they managed to eliminate PSG after losing the first leg.
Apart from being a champion, you see luck also, smiled on them.
Yes, luck. I think against Chelsea they rode their luck because there were occasions that Chelsea should have buried the game, you know. So
even against Man City.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, the man of the match was their keeper.
Yes.
The man of the match was their keeper because he made about 5 saves.
In the first half, the first 30 minutes, Liverpool was on top.
Yes.
But they couldn't get a goal. So sometimes in football, all you need to do is just take your chance. Take your chance when it comes. They didn't create many openings.
Yeah.
But one of the very few openings that they created, they managed to tuck in the goal. And that was it.
And they were able to defend very well.
It's not all about possessions anyway, but then really the amount of goals
is what you do with that possession.
Possessions.
Yes.
So, but officiating actually plays a major role when it comes to competition. So, how do you assess this?
No,
UEFA Champions League?
The officiating was very good.
Talking about the final.
Yes, I can't pick the name of the referee now, but he was also the one that refereed the last year's final. So it's a top European referee. And because of the introduction of VAR, that has been able to solve a lot of problems. Even if there are referee mistakes, the VAR will come in and solve that problem. You know, there was a goal that was disallowed because it was very tight, and all that. So VAR has been able to enhance the performance of the referees. So we don't really have much problem because it's the European Union that introduced the VAR. So I think that has assisted the referee to a large extent. So I don't see any problem with officiating.
Right. I'd like to get your final point, your thoughts on this particular issue, this particular one, Mayor and BKO. Before we go, lastly, really, yes, it is a World Cup here, but will you say that Karim Benzema has done enough to win Ballon d'Or?
Yes, he's by a long shot the favorite to win it, and it will be a big travesty if he doesn't get it. Don't forget, he returned to the French national team and has been doing well there. He's been doing well, so he's done very well. Did well in the domestic league, did well in the Champions League, did well even for France. So if they make him winner of the Ballon d'Or, I want to believe that they will have made the right choice.
They also share the same view. No one is going to compete with him.
I want to align with that. There's no doubt that's going to win Ballon d'Or. Nobody can deny him that. Even other players have already started mentioning that, because when you look at his records, he scored over 30 goals in La Liga. He practically carried Real Madrid to this final that we saw yesterday. Most critical times were his goals that saved them. And then for the national team too, once he came in, he had issues of this problem with one of the players and all that. And he was exiled from the national team for some time. But since he was recalled, he has performed admirably well. He He's one of the most underrated strikers in La Liga and world football. And I think the problem was that because of Ronaldo and the influence of Ronaldo when Ronaldo was in Real Madrid, they didn't give him his due. So it is now that people have started noticing his talents. You know, as an African brother, because from Algeria, though he's a French citizen, I am very happy for him. He shows the kind of talent we have in Africa. Though a lot of them have migrated and started using other countries. Like in his own case, he plays for France, but he's from Algeria. He's from Algerian descent. So I'm very happy. There is no doubt that he's going to win Ballon d'Or, and I think it's well deserving.
So you think Real Madrid coach actually did fantastically well?
Yeah, he has shown that he's a really special coach. To have won this tournament 4 times.
4 times.
To have won the league in the top 5 leagues in Europe, to have won in each of those countries. He has won the league in each of the top 5
leagues,
European countries. You know, no coach can match that record for now. No coach has that record. It shows, and
no one will come close.
Yes, the only thing is he doesn't have cheerleaders like Mourinho, like Pep. You know, he's a quiet plastic guy, kind of person who doesn't talk much, but his achievements are legendary. You know, if he had cheerleaders, people are ready to write beautiful prose about him, the way they do about Mourinho, the way they do about Pep Guardiola, and even your club. Honestly, people will appreciate him a lot more. But he has achieved what those coaches have not achieved, and he deserves.
He won Champions League as a player twice.
Yes,
he won Champions League as a coach 4 times. He has won in all the 5 leagues. You understand? He's the only coach that have played the European League final 5 times. You know, he lost once.
Just like they said, so do not make your noise, but let your achievements make the noise for you.
Liverpool reached 5 finals. I mean, 3 finals out of the last 5.
5, yes, 3.
It shows that it's a club on the ascendancy. You know, hopefully they will be back next year.
What their outing would be, what their performance will be in the next outing.
Man City deserves to win the Champions League.
No, by acquiring Haaland,
I think they will win.
I think they will take some stopping. This next season, it will be tough to stop them.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Mayor, really appreciate you were able to make it despite coming at the time you actually came. That's Lagos, even on a Sunday.
Thank you.
BKO, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your keenness of insight. Really appreciate too. And thank you too for watching. That's Journalists Hangout on Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.